Happy Friday! So, on to page 46. Jordan Adler. Up until this point, I never had success in any network marketing company or any personal business. I met a guy who told me that in the business of recruiting, you need to be prepared to sign up 20 to 30 people to find one that he called a big hitter. And he said that you can't change the numbers. If you're talking to a real estate broker, if you're talking to an insurance broker, or if you're talking to a top network marketer, they'll tell you to find one big hitter, you need to be prepared to sign up 20 to 30 people. I was living in a rental in Old Town Tempe, paying $200 a month. I took a black marker and I drew a grid on the wall, 100 squares, 10 by 10. In that company, I needed to find 20 customers, so I wrote in big black letters above the grid, find 20. Then I wrote, have fun, next to find 20, because I wasn't having fun. I had bill collectors after me, and I had 22 credit cards with $36,000 in debt. And at my job, that they had just cut my pay in half. The top position in the company was executive director, and so at the bottom of the grid, I wrote ED for executive director. I was single and dating, so if I eventually invited a lady over the first time, bleh. I was single and dating, so if I eventually invited a lady over, the first thing we'd do is take a tour of the house, and she'd get to the bedroom and see this grid over the bed that said, have fun at the top, and then find 20, and then down at the bottom, ED for executive director. Rather shocked, she wanted to know, what on earth does this mean? Well, I would write dates in those boxes every time I would give a presentation. My goal was to do 3 presentations a week, 12 a month, knowing that probably 11 of them would say no. And my goal was to sign up one person a month for 12 years, or one person a month for 2 years. I was going to find and sign up one person a month for 2 years, do 12 presentations a month, 3 a week on my lunches every single week, regardless of what anyone said to me. And it didn't matter if they were negative, or if they were angry, or if they were happy, or if they were complacent or interested. I was going to do 12 presentations a month for 2 years, knowing that if I did, then I'd probably sponsor 20 to 30 people. I signed up 19 people in 2 years. My 19th person I signed up was a lady in New Mexico who led me to over 12,000 distributors and over 40,000 customers. And it made me my first $1 million. Jordan Adler, the 20 million network marketer, www.jordanadler.com. Contrary to what you have been told, opportunity does not knock. You knock. Opportunity answers. Unfortunately, when it answers, it often says no. Your emotional reaction in that moment will have a profound impact on the quality of every aspect of your life. Thought that was pretty neat seeing that there. All right, next page. The emotional reaction to yes and no. According to the teachings of Aristotle, there are 3 main elements that influence our thoughts and actions. These elements are ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos has to do with character, as in the word ethical. Logos has to do with reason, like in the word logical. And then there's pathos. Pathos has to do with emotion, as in passion. Hopefully, with all that we've covered, you've begun the process of changing your mental perspective regarding success and failure, and yes and no. If you haven't, it might be more than your perspective. It's probably something deeply rooted in your emotions, your pathos. For example, here's another concept that might be somewhat counterintuitive to what you currently believe and perhaps everything you've ever been taught. To be effective in virtually any endeavor, you need to have less pathos, not more. In other words, to be less emotionally connected to the outcome of the interaction. To be clear, we're not talking about zero passion, but probably less passion than you're feeling, your internal emotion, and showing your prospects your external emotion. When we say less passion, consider the example of a surgeon who must remain unemotional and somewhat dispassionate to conduct surgery. It's not that doctors should be completely dispassionate, but make no mistake, a certain amount of calm, level-headed detachment is required to be effective. In fact, doctors aren't usually allowed to operate on relatives or loved ones. Why? Because they are too close and too emotional to remain detached enough to focus on the job at hand. And the same is true for us salespeople. Our attachment to outcomes tends to make us emotional and less effective. Your reaction to hearing yes and no should be of equal emotional intensity. The ultimate place you can get to is where hearing yes and no contain the same emotional charge. Ray Higdon's take on going to your warm market. My overarching thought is that you should only go to your warm market when you don't care if they'll join or not. If you're going to your warm market, your mother, brother, father, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, son, whatever, has a 0.001% chance of getting you frustrated or upset. If they say no, then you hold off until there's no chance you'll be negatively affected. When that's the case, go to them. Until then, avoid them. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should only focus on strangers who don't know you or that you should never bother with your warm market. I'm just saying you wait until you don't care if they sign up or not. So that's it for now. I gotta go back on my lunch break. So I will try to read more later. Have a good one.